want to ask you something. Have you ever met a complete stranger and felt like they knew you your whole life? Have you ever been in the darkest moment of your life and someone appeared from nowhere? My name is Alex. I am 28 years old, and 3 years ago, I was ready to give up everything. This is my story, and I promise you, you will not forget it. 3 years ago, I lived in a big city. The city was always busy and loud. People walked fast. Cars moved fast. Everyone was going somewhere. But I was going nowhere. I had a job. I worked in a small office. Every day was the same. Wake up, work, come home, sleep. Wake up, work, come home, sleep. I had no friends in this city. I came here alone 1 year before. I left my family in a small village. I left everything I knew. I told myself, this city will give me a better life. But the city did not care about me. The city did not even know my name. And then, one day, something happened at work. My boss called me into his office. He looked serious. He did not smile. "Adam," he said slowly, "I'm sorry. We have to let you go." I did not understand at first. "Let me go?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "Your position is finished. Today is your last day." I walked out of his office. My legs felt heavy. My mind felt empty. I had no job now. I had very little money. And I had no one to call. That night, I sat in my small room. The rain was falling outside. I could hear it hitting the window. I looked at my phone. I wanted to call someone. Anyone. But who? My father? No, he would worry too much. My old friends? We stopped talking long ago. I put my phone down. The room felt very small. The walls felt very close. I thought about my life. 1 year in this city. What did I achieve? Nothing. I was more alone than before. I was more lost than before. That night, I made a decision. I will leave this city tomorrow morning. I will go back to my village. I will forget this dream. I packed my bags. It did not take long. I did not have many things. I went to sleep early, but I could not sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, and I whispered to myself, what is wrong with me? Why can't I make it work? Why am I always alone? At 4 a.m, I gave up trying to sleep. I took my bags. I walked outside. The rain had stopped. The streets were empty and wet. Everything was quiet. I started walking to the train station. My train was at 6 a.m. I had 2 hours. I walked slowly. I was not in a hurry. I had nowhere to rush to anymore. The train station was almost empty. Only a few people were there. A cleaner with a mop, an old woman with a big suitcase, and one man. He was sitting alone on a bench. He looked about 60 years old. His hair was white. His jacket was old but clean. He had a small bag next to him. He was reading a book at 4 in the morning in an empty train station. I thought, strange man. I sat on a bench far from him. I put my bags down. I looked at the floor. Then I heard a voice. "Long night?" the man said. I looked up. He was looking at me. He had calm eyes, like someone who had seen everything in life. "Yes," I said quietly. "Very long." He nodded slowly. "Where are you going?" he asked. "Home," I said. "I'm going back home." He was quiet for a moment. Then he asked something unexpected. "Are you running away? Or are you going back to something?" I stared at him. No one had ever asked me that before. "I don't understand," I said. He smiled. Not a big smile, just a small, quiet smile. "Sit with me," he said. "We have time before the train." His name was George. He told me this after I sat down. "I am George," he said simply. "And you?" "Alex," I said. "Alex," he repeated, like he was remembering it. We were quiet for a moment. Then he asked, "How old are you, Alex?" 28, I said. He nodded. "Young," he said. "Very young." I looked at him. "How old are you?" I asked. 64, he said. "Old enough to know one thing." "What thing?" I asked. He looked at me directly. His eyes were serious now. "Running away never works," he said. "I tried it many times. The problem always follows you. Because the problem is never the city. The problem is never the job. The problem is never the people." He paused. "The problem," he said slowly, "is the story we tell ourselves." I felt something move inside me, but I was also a little angry. "You don't know my situation," I said. "You don't know what I lost." "You're right," he said calmly. "Tell me." So I told him everything. The job, the loneliness, the 1 year of nothing, the feeling of being invisible in a big city. He listened. He did not interrupt. He did not look at his phone. He just listened. When I finished, he was quiet. Then he said, "Can I tell you something about myself?" "Yes," I said. He took a long breath. "When I was 30, George said, I had everything. A good job, a beautiful wife, a house, 2 children. Everyone looked at me and said, George is successful. George is lucky." But inside I was empty. I felt like I was living someone else's life. So one day, I left. I left my job. I left my house. I left my family. I told myself, I need to find myself. I need to be free. I traveled for 2 years. Different cities, different countries. I met many people. I saw beautiful places. But you know what I found? He looked at me. "Nothing," he said quietly. "I found nothing. Because I brought the emptiness with me. It was inside me, not outside." I felt my chest tighten. "What happened?" I asked. His face became sad, just for a moment. I lost my family, he said. My wife moved on. My children grew up without me. By the time I understood my mistake, it was too late to fix everything. The station was completely silent. I'm sorry, I said. I meant it. He shook his head slowly. Don't be sorry for me, he said. Learn from me. That's why I'm telling you this. What should I learn? I asked. He leaned forward. Alex, he said, you are 28 years old. You feel like you failed, but you haven't failed. You've only just started. The real failure is when you stop, when you go back, when you choose the safe road because you are afraid of the hard one. You came to this city with a dream. What happened to that dream? I opened my mouth, then I closed it. I didn't have an answer. Outside the window, the sky was changing. The dark black was becoming dark blue. Morning was coming slowly. George looked at his watch. The train will come soon, he said. We were both quiet. Then I asked him, why are you at the station at 4 a.m.? He smiled. I come here every week, he said. I sit here for a few hours. I read my book. I watch people come and go. Sometimes I talk to someone who needs it. I looked at him. You came here for this? No, he said. I came for the book. You were just extra. He laughed softly. It was the first time I heard him laugh. It was a warm sound. I smiled too, for the first time that night. Then the announcement came. The speaker said, "Train to Riverside, platform 2, boarding now." That was my train. I looked at my bags. Then I looked at George. He was already reading his book again, like our conversation never happened. I stood up slowly. I picked up my bags. I started walking toward platform 2. I walked 5 steps. Then I stopped. I don't know why I stopped. Maybe it was George's words. Maybe it was the morning light. Maybe it was something inside me. I turned around. George was still reading. He did not look up, but he said, without lifting his eyes, "Platform 2 is that way." "I know," I said. Silence. "I'm not going," I said. He looked up now. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he nodded. One slow nod. "Good," he said simply, and went back to his book. I went back to that train station once. I looked for George. He was not there. I asked the cleaner, "Do you know an old man named George? White hair, old jacket, always reading?" The cleaner thought for a moment. Then he shook his head. "No," he said. "I don't know anyone like that." I stood there for a long time, thinking. Maybe George was real. Maybe he was something else. I still don't know. But his words were real, and they changed my life. I did not take that train. I went back to my small room. I slept for the first time in days. The next morning, I woke up different. I can't explain it exactly, but something had changed. Not the city, not my situation, something inside me. I started again. slowly, one day at a time. I found a new job after 3 weeks. Small job, not perfect, but it was a start. I started talking to people, not waiting for them to talk to me. Me, starting first. 6 months later, I had friends. Real friends. People who knew my name. 1 year later, I had a better job. A job I actually liked. 3 years later, I am still in this city. And this city feels like home now.
Before I finish, I want to ask you something. Think about your life right now. Is there something you are running away from? Or are you running towards something? George's question stayed with me for 3 years. Maybe it will stay with you too. Remember, the problem is never the place. The problem is never the people. The problem is the story we tell ourselves. And we can always write a new story. Now tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments, what is one thing in your life that you keep running away from?
Write it, even one word.
Even one word.
It's the first step.